Joy session for this month. And as some of you are already aware, that now we are introducing our experts to the group. And the first in the series is, of course, somebody who's a fitness expert and a holistic coach. And that is Sonia, as you already know. Having said that, this series will continue and other experts will also come very soon to you. Many experts are planning their sessions, and all of you people who are part of NLP alumni and people who have learned NLP and life coaching with us can come and present these sessions. The platform would be available to you. Now, let me invite Namrata, who's the host today, and Namrata would be hosting the session, and I would sit back and enjoy for some time. Once the session is over, there'll be a small question and answer, and then I would have some more announcements to make. So wait for those announcements for the next session. Right now, over to Namrata. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me have a quick introduction round of, I think the NLP Authority needs no introduction. It has been inspiring and developing people, many of us, to explore, excel, and enrich their lives. And obviously, our master coach is Ashish Sehgal, who has been their mastermind, who has been a friend, mentor, guide, our coach, our go-to person for everything that we've wanted to ever address. And the session being held today is by Sonia. Sonia Rastagi has let me give a very brief introduction about her. So Sonia was working in the corporate sector in a long while back, and she eventually founded her true calling in the realm of health and wellness. She's then become a facilitator, wellness coach, life coach, and an NLP practitioner. Her passion for exercise, health, and wellness has opened this wonderful world of yoga to her, a discipline which has helped her to get to know her true self. Through yoga, she's ended up meeting one of the most wonderful person on earth, who is she herself, which has been some of our key takeaways from NLP itself. She says that it has been a very wonderful journey of self-discovery to her. And today, Sonia is here to present a bit about yoga and a little about breathing to all of us. So over to you, Sonia.
All right. Thank you so much, Namrata. And thank you, Ashish. So I am really excited to start the session. And yes, Namrata, this is my favorite line and, my discovery about myself when I say that I found the most wonderful person, and that is me. That is only after, getting into yoga. So otherwise, in our day-to-day life, we are always doing something or the other. We are busy finding other people. We are busy learning new things. But at the same time, we are losing ourselves. We never realize that, there is something here that we need to discover. So I was fortunate enough that, my life calling, I actually pursued that. And after that corporate life, I got into this, and I really feel at a very, very happy space where I am. So yoga did not only change my life, it changed my perception about life. It changed about, my mental state. So wherein life hasn't changed a big way, in the sense my situation, my circumstances are still the same, but my way of looking at it has 100% changed. So it has I have come to a space wherein I feel peace and calm most of the time. So my greatest learning after getting into yoga was to learn the importance of breathing, and that is what I'm going to talk about. So when I say yoga, most of the people always feel that yoga is, lifting arms, stretching your legs, going upside down. That is the only thing what people think about yoga is. Yes, definitely that is yoga, but that is a, one part of yoga. But the most important part of yoga is your breath. So if I say, if I say that, you know, in life, do we do something without thinking about it? So let's say I'm hungry, you know, if I'm hungry, I will think about my food, you know, that I'm going to eat this. Or if I have to do something, I'll think about it, that I have to do this. So most of the time in the day, if you really sit and, you know, uh, relax and think about it, that most of the time you're thinking. And, you know, breathing is the only thing we do without thinking. So, you know, it's a simple question. If I say that how many times you think about your breath, most of the people will say no, we don't think. Yeah, you all agree to this. So I don't know whether it's on mute for everyone or not, but if you agree, just show me your thumbs up so that I understand that yes. So
I think
yeah,
our breathing has been on autopilot mode, so we never think about
exactly.
these things.
Exactly. And if I say why is that, because, you know, it's just happening on its own, as you said, autopilot, because it's happening, it's coming, it's going, and I don't have to do anything about it, right? So why? And also we're not paying any attention because I'm not paying any fees for it, I'm not paying any rental for this, I'm not paying any maintenance for this. Anything you buy from the market, let's say your car, do you take care of your car? You make insurance, you fill petrol, you send it to the garage for the servicing, because you've spent money and it's helping you, right? These are the only two things anything does to us. It's helping to us, and of course, you know, we enjoy it. And breathing, you know, for me is as important as it's keeping me alive. So I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. If I don't inhale my next breath, I'm gone. So something which is that important, which is keeping me alive, is it not important that I should think about it and I should understand that, you know, what breathing is doing to me? And also another thing is, so breathing, we always feel that it's coming and it's going, it's doing its well, but that is not the right way. You know, breathing has, there are wrong patterns of breathing. If I say that somebody knows about the pattern, how many of you would know the pattern of your breathing? Anybody? You know about the pattern? Okay. How many people know about the pattern? And how many patterns are there? So, you know, it's a question we have never thought about it. Why? Because we are taking it for granted. Simple as that. If I don't get food today, I will survive. If I don't get food tomorrow, I will still survive. Maybe third day or fourth day, I will not be able to stand and I will die. Similarly, Ashish just took a sip of water. So if you don't drink water whole day, maybe you will survive. Tomorrow, again, you know, you're going to be thirsty, you will be dehydrated, and then, you know, there'll be a problem. Clothes. If I have, you know, a small piece of cloth, I will survive. But breath is one thing. If I don't have my next breath, life is going to be, you know, gone. So there'll be no time that I can wait without breathing for some time. Yes, yogis can wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I think that's the maximum. Otherwise we cannot stay. So something which is keeping me alive, I guess, gives me enough reason to think about it and pay more attention to my breathing. So I was talking about the pattern. Let's come back to the pattern. And everybody, we're just going to practice that how we breathe, what is a right way and what is not a right way. So first of all, we are going to start with the chest breathing. So you keep your one hand here on the chest and the second hand here on your stomach. And you just breathe. So if
The video is stuck, I think.
Sonia, your videos got stuck.
Sonia.
Yeah, it's got stuck.
I think she started moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
am I there?
Yes.
Yes, now you're here.
We stopped our breathe where you told us to stop.
Okay, so I was asking you to keep your one hand on the chest and the other hand on the abdomen, right? So this is what we were trying to check. And you normal breathe. You don't make any other, other way of breathing. Whatever is your normal breath, just feel what is moving. Is your hand on the chest moving, or is your hand on the abdomen moving? So if your hand on the chest is moving, that means you breathing from your chest, and you're not moving, you're not breathing from your abdomen. That means chest breathing, and chest breathing is called a shallow breathing, which is not a good breathing. Okay, so that was number one. You can take a note of this, that chest, if I'm breathing from my chest, that is not a correct breathing, because that's very, very shallow, and it does not give me enough oxygen which is needed for my lungs, for my organs. Okay, okay, so now the second one is shallow breathing. So you keep your hand at the lower part of your rib cage. So you know where your rib, the lower part of your rib cage, and just keep two fingers here and see whether that's moving or not. If it is not moving, that means it's a shallow breathing, and that is also not correct. So even if your abdomen is moving and this part is not moving, that means it is not a good breathing. So it's called shallow breathing. It's again, we need to put the cross. Okay. So the third one is over breathing. So just keep your hand wherever you want to keep it here, you want to keep it here, and you see your exhalation. So you inhale and you see how many counts is your inhale and how many counts is your exhale. If your exhalation is not longer than your inhalation, that means you are over breathing. You are breathing more, but you're not exhaling. That is also incorrect. Okay, so when I say over breathing, that means you breathing, you feel the air, but you're not exhaling. And unless you exhale, means you're not creating enough space for the fresh, more breath, more oxygen. So this was over breathing, which is again not advisable. And the fifth one is the reverse breathing. Just keep your hand on the abdomen. Only on your abdomen, you keep your hand and see your breathing. So if you feel that on your inhalation, it's your abdomen which is expanding, and when you exhale, it's contracting. That means it's called abdomen breathing. If it is not the same, if it is the reverse, that means it's a reverse breathing, and that is incorrect. Right, correct is when you breathe, your abdomen is like a balloon. When you fill the air, it should expand, and when you take out the air, it should contract. So if it is not this way, that means it's a reverse breathing, and reverse breathing is again not correct. And the last one is your mouth breathing. So if you think that I'm breathing from my mouth, then you should stop immediately, and you should only use your nose for the breath. And we all know there are obvious reasons why you should only breathe from the nose and not from your mouth. So I have told you 5 types of breathing where you need to start checking on and off. Is anybody asking something here? Yeah.
I have a question here.
Yes.
Now, I am going to the point where you talked about over breathing.
Okay.
So is there something called under breathing also?
No. So under breathing is just a shallow breathing, which I told you
Okay.
the other one. So there is
Okay.
nothing called under breathing. It's just a shallow breathing wherein you are not using the capacity of your lungs. So if I give you a fact, a normal human only uses less than 1/3 capacity of the lungs. So we are filling like 500 cubic centimeters of air inside. And if you take a deep breath, a yogic breath, that means we can breathe 3000 cubic centimeters. So it's like 6 times more. So, we are not utilizing. Our lungs capacity is huge, but we are not using. So in case we do not use, that means we are not giving enough oxygen to our lungs. So if we are not giving enough oxygen, that means the respiratory system, the circulatory system, all these systems are being not affected, not operating in a good way. So when we breathe more and we give more oxygen to the blood, that means our respiratory system works better, our circulatory system works better, and then therefore the digestion system, the elimination system, everything works better. So these are the breathing things which I told you. Now I will tell you what is the breathing consisting of. So if I say, what do you guys understand of a breathing? So if I say the main function of breathing is what? What do you understand of this? So most of the people I have spoken to, they always say breathing means inhalation, right? But breathing consists three parts: inhalation, exhalation, and retention. And don't be surprised when I say inhalation is not the most important part. The most important part is the exhalation, and then retention, and then it is inhalation. So the fact, sometimes we so as we all know that we are not paying attention to our breath. That means we don't even know the facts also. So we are just taking it, in a very whatever. So we don't even talk about it. We don't even read about it. We don't even learn about it. So from now onwards, pay more attention on your exhalation. And when I say more attention on your exhalation, that means if I exhale more, that means I'm trying to empty my lungs. So when I empty my lungs, that means I'm creating more and more space to inhale for the fresh air, for the oxygen. So I'm creating space to breathe more so that enough oxygen goes into my entire system. Okay, so this was inhalation, exhalation, and retention. Inhalation is when you inhale, you fill the air, you expand your abdomen. Exhalation is you empty your lungs. And what is retention? So retention is a pause at the end of inhalation and at the end of exhalation. But I'm sure nobody pays attention to the retention. Yeah. So I think start keeping this also in mind, that retention is very, very important. And if I give you the benefits of retention, I guarantee you there will not a single day that you will not practice breath retention. First of all, it delays the aging process. So everybody remains young. And it also gives you a very glow, so much glow on your face, on your skin. It also kind of, your organs become more and more healthy. So there are lots of benefits of breath retention. So what you can actually do is you take a normal breath. So this we can just start. You take a normal breath, maybe half here, and check the time and hold your breath. So you're not closing your nostril, but you're holding your breath. Your mouth is closed, your nose is closed, and you're holding the breath, and you're sitting straight. So make sure your spine is straight while you're practicing any kind of breathing. And see how much time you can hold the breath. If you can hold it for more than 30 seconds, it's nice. If you can hold it for about 45 seconds, it's good. If you can go beyond 1 minute, it's excellent. Okay. So anyways, maybe, you can practice this later, put a timer somewhere, and then practice the retention. All right. Namrata seems to be enjoying my session. All right. Okay. So now,
I think Sonia's video is stuck. Am I audible?
is everything okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
your video was stuck.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I am sitting right there from the beginning. I'm not moving here and there. Okay, so we are going to start practicing pranayam. I was telling you what is the importance of pranayam. So as the word says pranayam, prana means breath, yama means control. So the control of your breath is the science of breathing. You know, the more you practice pranayam, again, you know, if I give you the benefits of pranayam, you know, I can spend like 2 hours on that. So you guys can check what are the benefits. First of all, it handles your stress. So, you know, if you practice continuously, there'll be no way that you can be under stress. So no fatigue. You energize yourself. Your organs function better. So there are lots and lots of benefits of pranayam. So we will start with the pranayam called Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati, again, I'll tell you what is Kapalabhati. So Kapal is the skull, and Bhati is shine. So when you practice this entire area is going to shine. And the biggest benefit of pranayam is you lose weight. So people who are looking out, you know, for that, I really want to lose weight or I want to do this. So practice Kapalbhati. It's going to do wonder on you. So Kapalbhati is a forceful exhalation through your nostril. Okay. So we're going to practice this. So sit up tall and straight. So always remember 2 things. One, that your spine has to be straight whenever you're practicing any breathing exercise. Your shoulders and your neck is nicely relaxed. You know, there's no tension here. There's no hunching here. And face absolutely calm. You know, your face should be that, oh, this is my most joyful activity I'm going to get into. You know, that's how your face should be. Very, very calm, very, very joyful. And then you can choose to either keep your eyes closed or keep your eyes open. So sitting tall and straight here, and then you take so maybe you can just watch once and then you try later. So I'm going to take a deep breath. My abdomen expands here, and then I forcefully exhale through my nose. So when I exhale, my breath goes out and my stomach goes in. So there is a sound from my nose, chak, chak, chak. So something like this, you know, there is a sound from my nose and my stomach goes. Every time I am only focusing on my exhalation. So you're not trying to inhale, you're not trying to breathe, but you are exhaling. Continuously you are exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. So your inhalation is going to be very, very natural, very, very passive. Okay, so you again sit up straight, take a deep breath and exhale. So I'm going to say 1. So when I say 1, you exhale and see how much can you do it. Okay, so take a deep breath and begin. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Relax. So since we are not doing a session here, it's just that, you know, you should know how to practice this. That's why we are doing this. And this is very, very powerful, very, very dynamic. So when you do a dynamic movement of your breath, you know, after this, after the round of Kapalbhati, you should just sit quietly and observe your breath. You have to start making a connection with your breath. That what happens when I did this dynamic movement of my breath, what happened to my body? Now, how am I feeling? How is my energy? So your prana, your energy improves big time here. But it's just that you start observing it. And the more you observe it, you become more and more aware of your breath. Okay, so practice this every day for about 10 minutes and you will see the changes, you know, within 1 month or 2 months, your system is going to be really, it's like rejuvenation of your organs. So whenever you're doing pranayam for the better energy, vigor, vitality. Okay, the second pranayam I want to teach you is alternate nostril breathing. It's called Anulom Vilom. But before Anulom Vilom, I want to teach you how to balance. So most of the time during the day, if you feel, if you keep one finger here and you check your nostril, it's only one nostril which is working. Either it is right or it is left. It's never both. So, and I'll tell you what is the relevance here. So your right side and left side, it's called Ida and Pingala. So Ida and Pingala is a nadi. You know, that's like hemisphere of your brain. So right side and left side. So right side is the solar, the sun, and the left side is the moon. So if you sometimes, you know, you feel that I'm very okay, you know, joyful, normal, that means your left side of nostril is active. And sometimes you are, you know, full of power and maybe agitated, maybe irritated, maybe feeling very hot. That means your right nostril is working. So to balance this, what you can do is, so you, whenever you practice this, you always have the mudra. So your left hand is in chin mudra. So your index finger and thumb, it is like this. And you can keep it on your left knee. And the right hand, there is a, it's called Vishnu Mudra. The first two fingers are touching the base of your thumb. It's like this. So you have only thumb and last two fingers here. Is it visible to everyone? First two fingers are bent, touching the base of your thumb. So you block your right nostril and you begin with the left side. So I will only start with the left. Left inhale, left exhale, left inhale, left exhale, left inhale, left exhale. And after that, you close the left and you start with the right. Right inhale, right exhale, right inhale, right exhale, right inhale, right exhale. So this is how you have to start. So it is still not alternate nostril breathing. It is only the balancing. So once you think that 5 times and 5 times both you've done, and then the Anulom Vilom will start. And then you begin, again, keep your posture correct. You block your right nostril here and begin with the left side. Inhale. Ashish, the other hand, the other hand. Yes. So inhale. And then you hold the left nostril and exhale from the right. And now again, inhale from the right and exhale from the left. So this we are going to continue at least 10 to 15 times. Again, you know, all together Kapalbhati, and this one you should spend about 15 minutes every day. And it has to be empty stomach. And I want to teach you one more. So there are many other pranayam, but I think we are short on time. So I will just cover one more, which is very, very good to you know, come to the present moment and get rid of the stress. Whenever you are upset, whenever you have some stress, whenever you have some pressure and you don't know what to do, so I'm going to teach you the trick on this. It's called Bhramari Pranayam. So my 3 fingers, the last 3 fingers, I'm going to close my eyes, very softly close my eyes. The first finger, the index finger, is on the forehead, 3 fingers on the eyes, and my thumb, I'm going to close my ear completely. जैसे plug लगाते हैं, so you got to really close so that you can't hear, closing eyes so that you can't see. This is called ego finger. So, you know, sometimes we point the finger, you did this, you did that. So these are called ego fingers. We are surrendering. So it's a surrender. Eyes closed, ears closed. And then you take a deep breath here, deep breath, and then a humming sound from the throat. You're not speaking, but you're making a humming sound. So maybe you can watch here.
Sonia's screen is stuck.
Sonia's gone in a meditation stand. trance.
Yeah.
For as long as you want to. So your ears, just plug it out and open your eyes only when you feel like opening. Otherwise, you can just sit in a, because this actually instantly leaves you in a meditative state. So this is very, very meditative, and use this whenever you want to feel better from the present situation. Whenever there is some tension, whenever there is some stressful situation, this will immediately get you out of it. So it works wonder on that. And also the benefits of pranayama and breathing, the most important benefit which I feel is that, when you focus on your breath, it brings you to the present moment. Because I cannot think of my last breath, or I cannot think of my future breath. So if I'm breathing now and I'm focusing, that means I am in the present moment. So I think this is very, very important for all of us to remain in the present moment, to live a better life, to live a life full of our dreams or whatever our desires are. But when we live in the past or future, I think our guru Ashish will tell us more about it. But so this is all from me for now, and I hope you guys will practice this and see the difference in your life by breathing correct. So if there are any questions, I'm ready to take, or maybe later on, either on the mail or WhatsApp, you guys can answer the questions.
There are some questions coming on the chat box. Namrata, can you
Yes.
take them?
Yeah. So Sonia, someone from Vikram ही है. Our very own Vikram has asked us that please advise if you can do Kapalbharati while on medications of any kind.
Come again, Kapalbhati before the meditation.
No. Hi, Vikram this side. I'm a little late to flight here. My question is, this is something I picked it a long time back, so I would like to reconfirm it if I'm wrong in my sense. Because what I had thought when I had learned this from a girl who was into yoga, and she learned it from somewhere in Rishikesh and runs her own institute here. She said Kapalbhati, you need to be conscious if you're on medication like a blood pressure medication.
Yeah. So yes.
Is that so? I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So very good question, Vikram. Yeah. So in case you have high BP, then you should not do Kapalbhati. But what you can do is, so Kapalbhati is all about forceful exhalation. But if you want to do the pranayam, you can do a very short breathing here. Okay. So what we are doing is, we are doing it very forcefully. So the right way is forceful exhalation. But if you do want to practice pranayam, you can just do very slow exhalation. So here, instead of being forceful, just do very slow and soft exhalation, and that is absolutely fine. But yes, the forceful exhalation for people who have high BP is not advised.
You need to be very conscious. That's what I thought. Maybe I thought it's good to clarify maybe for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely fine. And people who have asthma, they are also, again, the soft and slow exhalation, not the faster one. But for them, alternate nostril breathing is very good for even BP patients, for asthma patients, for anyone. And that actually cures them.
I agree, absolutely. I think that's a great tip, because that really helps in terms of the breathing process, in case you can do that. Thank you so much. I thought I'll clarify.
No, absolutely. Yes. So anything else?
Yes, Sonia, there's one more question coming in from the audience. There is a question that, are there any precautions we need to take with Kapalbharati?
So precaution means, one, definitely you guys should not eat anything whenever you're practicing pranayam. So pranayam or breathing, because see, you're working on your breath very dynamic, and Kapalbhati is a very, very powerful and dynamic movement. So there are other pranayam which are again powerful. There is pranayam called Bhastrika, which is again very, very powerful, very dynamic. So you working with your breath. So your stomach should be absolutely empty. Otherwise, you might feel giddy, you might feel pukish. So these two things you definitely have to remember, that you should be empty stomach, and also your spine has to be straight. So whenever you're practicing, see why? Because when you're practicing pranayam, you're generating a lot of energy in your body, and energy moves straight in the straight line. So if you're sitting like this, or if you're sitting like this, it's going to be a hindrance for the energy to move in the body. So definitely the precaution what you have to take is you sit comfortably, but erect spine, shoulders and neck absolutely in one line. So if I tell you a little more about it, we have energy centers in the body, we have chakras in the body wherein energy moves up and down in a straight line. So that is why I emphasize more and more on sitting on your posture. The more erect you will sit, the more energy you will feel. And if you don't even believe in energy, believe in a posture. If you're sitting straight, you're more confident, you're more alert. So, all these things do matter.
Hi, I have a couple of questions. Can I come in, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
Rajni.
Who's this?
Hi, Sonia. Very nice presentation, and thank you so much. But I had a couple of questions. One, before I ask the question about Vikram's doubt, hypertension and pranayam, and why you should be little careful about pranayam is that you are forcefully exhaling a lot of carbon dioxide of your body, and
Yeah.
this is such a powerful tool that it will suddenly bring down your BP. It
Yes.
might create hypotensive condition, and
Yes.
that is the care you should take. All hypertensives who are doing pranayam, so slowly build up your strength of pranayam, and do not go into a very forceful exhalation exercise, as it's a very powerful exercise to do, and it can naturally cure your hypertensive situation.
Yes.
So be patient with it, and you can reap a lot of benefits through it.
Yes.
What my question to you is, Sonia, that you have said that exhalation is more important than retention, and then finally inhalation.
Yeah.
Right. What is the biophysiological basis for this? Why do you say this?
So I think you missed it when I was saying.
What is happening in the body?
Yeah. So see, when you exhale more, what are you trying to do? So there is a space in our body wherein we inhale and we exhale, right? So
Right.
In the beginning, when I started telling you about the incorrect breathing, so there was one breathing which was over breathing, and that is wherein you are inhaling and not exhaling enough. That means you are over breathing. So what happens is, here in your exhalation, when I say exhale more, so exhale more means when you exhale more, you are creating lot of space for the next inhalation.
Apart from space, Sonia, anything else is happening in the body?
So see, apart from the space, when I inhale more, definitely I'm going to give more oxygen to my blood and to my organs, and that's it. So I'm more concerned about that. So once your breathing pattern corrects, then it becomes a natural thing. It's just a practice in the beginning. So it's a beginning practice. When I'm learning something in the initial time, when I'm doing it something correct, that becomes my habit, and that's about it.
One small comment on that, Sonia, and since we are dealing with the body respiration, we inhale oxygen. That oxygen is utilized by our cells to break down the things we have eaten, that is proteins, fats, and carbohydrates.
Yes.
Okay, and that is called a cellular respiration.
Yeah.
And a product of cellular respiration is carbon dioxide and water.
Yeah.
And water we excrete through kidneys, and carbon dioxide we exhale through our lungs. And if we don't exhale more than the inhalation, what will happen is carbon dioxide will start accumulating in the blood, and our chemoreceptors will be triggered. And triggering of chemoreceptors will cause two things. One, blood will get more acidic, so all your organs will start to shut down.
Yeah.
Right? And you might lose consciousness. And that is the reason why you should be exhaling more, not only to create space, but to avoid the blood getting more acidic and keeping the blood neutral at 7.2 pH. You also mentioned that exhalation with pranayam, you can lose weight. And the basis of this is that fats are made up of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. And when they are metabolized, their metabolites are carbon dioxide and water. And if you are breathing correctly, then your weight loss journey is much more efficient in a way, because you're breathing out a lot of metabolites of your fat which you have burned, right? So this is
I
what
am
I just
really
wanted to
happy.
comment.
Yeah, I am really glad that you're giving so much information and you know so much in details. So yes, guys, take
Yes.
note of this. I mean, thank you very much for again further explaining this. Yeah,
So
so
I
all
think we have some health benefits also, and we have it backed by some scientific facts also.
yes.
So great. Great.
I
Are
think
there
we are
any?
all thinking people, NLP practitioners, and without science, we would not move ahead. So we need a backing of science with whatever we say to our clients. And
Yeah.
that is, I feel, is most important thing. We must know what is happening in our body before we start telling someone to do it.
Yes, you are right. But here, most of when there are people, they haven't practiced and they don't know about breathing. So the first step is to let them know what is actually important and
correct.
why this is done. And yes, what you're saying, definitely it's a step two. You know, go little more in deep so that they understand better. But right now,
Yes.
I think it's creating the foundation wherein, you know, creating the habit so that things start moving in a better way. Yes.
Thank you
And
so
thank you.
much. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And Sonia, I just had one small question.
Please.
When you spoke about the right side of like the right nostril which breathes and the left nostril that breathes, and you said that the left side makes us feel more active, vis-a-vis the right side makes us feel more sluggish, right? So
So the,
is there any so is there any way I can reverse that kind of reverse? No, is there any way that I can balance it out? Like on days that I feel I'm hyperactive or I'm very tensed.
no. So the balancing is the anulom vilom.
Okay.
See, here we were just trying to neutralize, you know. So if my right nostril, what happens is, so begin whenever you start. So first you check. If you think that your right nostril is active, so you close your right nostril and you begin with the left side. And then you stop. And then after that, right. And after that, normal alternate nostril breathing so that it balances. You know, we can't be all the time happy and, you know, let go attitude. At the same time, we can't be agitated or more in power and more in control and all that stuff. So life has to be balanced, and that's how we practice balancing thing. And after, okay, so I did not tell you about the retention. You can actually add retention. That's the later part, you know, a much advanced stage wherein you breathe from one nostril and then you close both, right also, left also, and then you hold your breath. And then you exhale. I can tell you the ratio also. So when you begin with the left side, you inhale 4 count you inhale, and then you close 12 count, you hold your breath, and when you exhale 8 counts. So your exhalation has to be the double, and the retention is the 12. So 4, 12, 8. And if you think you can't do it, so do 3, 9, and 6. If you can't do that, so 2, 6, and 4. So whatever, you know, everybody has a different capacity. So start with the slow and then gradually, you know, grow above.
Right. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Most welcome. And any of you, when you want, you can get in touch with me. I would be happy to help whatever way possible. I am on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, so do connect. And all NLP family, we are connected anyways on the WhatsApp.
I think, Ashish, we should have one more session where we see Sonia exercising and we should try and do something.
Up and down.
Up and down.
Yeah, sure.
I have seen her very active on Instagram and I've always tried to.
Yeah, I'm taking a note of that.
Yes.
And now that we have started this series that our experts are coming online, we'll see Sonia more and many more people coming up again now. So
Yeah,
this
sure.
is a new thing. So, Namrata?
Yes. So thank you, Sonia, for this very, very insightful session. You have actually helped us a lot in getting our breathings right. Maybe the next time we'll be at least a little more conscious and a little more aware of
You know,
But
I would really request all of you to please start doing this homework, that in a day, at least randomly 10, 20 times, spend 2 minutes on your breath. You know, sit quietly and just breathe. Don't do anything, just breathe, you know. So that in itself will help you more and more.
So
Yeah.
I think we had a fabulous session today, and all thanks to Sonia and Namrata.
Ashish.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see, this is how wonderful our NLP Authority alumni is. There are a lot of people from our alumni set, and there are a lot of new people in the group also. I was seeing the participants. So for all of them, I'd like to tell a little about what we do. NLP Authority is a premier NLP, EI, and coaching training company, and we have been active for almost 15 plus years now. And all the students who have ever connected with us, been a student, has become a part of alumni. And every month we do sessions. Like this month, we plan 2 more sessions. Last month, we did 3 sessions. So everybody is connected, and it's a lifelong learning process with us. All of the people you see here, most of the people are alumni members of NLP Authority. And now with this new initiative, we are seeing all the experts also coming online and helping all other people. So as I've said, that this is a community project, and together we all grow. This is a completely voluntary project, and I really thank Sonia for taking this up this time. Thank you, Sonia, so much. And thank you, everybody. If you want to know more about our activities, and if you want to be a part of these sessions, please write down in the chat box or connect with me. Most of you know my phone number. This is Ashish Sehgal, 98101-88629. If you have messages for Sonia, do write to me and I'll pass it on to her. You'll also connect with Pragati and Namrata for the same. So guys, thank you so much for this session. That's all for today.